Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's episode I'm going to be showing you how to go from this to this in a very simple and easy method. Now unfortunately this isn't accessible until you hit level 50, but you can cheese off a friend, get them to set it up for you, and then you'll be able to gain thousands of XP within a couple of minutes, hopefully. Right, so starting off you need a custom mode, not this one here. So I'm going to run through everything that I do to create this. So these unlock at 50, level 50 and onwards. Like if you prestige, you still unlock them afterwards, but like amateur, intermediate, professional, nightmare, even insanity, you're not getting a whole lot of rewards in comparison to like timing. So you create custom ones. Now my custom one sets off at 12.37 times, so that means I get that times in rewards at the end of a contract. It can go higher. I've seen people get it to 15, so like for the Apocalypse 3 challenge, you have to have a rewards multiplier of 15 or above. This one I just feel like is a little bit more fair, a little bit nicer. So starting off with, your starting sanity is 0, you don't need it. Sanity pill restoration, again 0, you do not need it. That just means that basically if you take the sanity pills you just won't get anything from it. Sanity drain speed, again, might as well be the highest because you don't have any and you can't gain any either. Sprinting is off, so this isn't an actual sort of like contract. You go in, you find the ghost room, you get all your evidence. It doesn't work like that. So I'll explain a little bit more as we get into it. So the player speed is 100%. It can be a little bit lower, so like the lower the percentage, the rewards go up a little bit more. Let's see how much it goes up by actually. So if I reduce that to say 50, okay, so it goes up an extra 1 in the times multiplier. I feel like that's not the best though. I just prefer, because there's no sprinting, I just prefer us to have a little bit more speed. Flashlights are off. I play with my brightness up for YouTube video purposes anyways, so I can pretty much see in the contract at all times. And obviously lose items and consumables, if you have that turned off you will automatically get times 0, I believe. So moving on to the ghost speed, 100%. Just normal. Roaming frequency is high. Changing favorite room is high. The activity is low and the event frequency is low. That just means outside of hunting it's a bit of a quiet ghost. Doesn't always mean it's a shade though, but you never know, could be. So friendly ghost obviously is off. Grace period is 0, so the second it starts hunting it can kill you, so make sure you have a smudge or a crucifix on you to try and prevent that hunt or to immediately smudge it. So the hunt duration, I've set it to low. Again, you can set it higher. I might increase that for today's purpose. Where is it? Hunt duration low. So if you increase that to medium, goes up an extra 0.1, and then set it to high, goes up an extra 0.2. So in terms of the length of time you're going to be in the contract, from being in a low hunt duration or a high hunt duration, I don't feel like you're getting all that much out of it. I will go to medium. The only upside to having a longer hunt duration is that you might be able to see the ghost's ability a little bit better. So say for instance an 𝕍𝕀𝔻𝔼𝕆𝕊 shapeshift or an 𝕍𝕼𝕋 breath, you might not necessarily see that or catch that in a short hunt because it's just over so quickly. So I'm gonna stick it to medium. I'm going to change it to medium. Oh, also as well, if the hunt duration is lower, you can't necessarily test for a Moroi, because obviously a Moroi has the ability to be smudged for 8 seconds rather than 5 seconds for a normal ghost. So if the hunt duration is actually shorter than that, then you're never going to be able to tell and you might just get misinformation. So yeah, with the ghost, so hunt duration I've now set it to medium, which is giving me an extra 0.1, and evidence given is 0. So like I said, this is not an evidence based contract, custom game. This is just purely get in, get out, guess the ghost, and then earn thousands from it. So for the contract, setup time 0, because again, we're not looking for evidence. Weather, set it to fog. I don't know why. That just seems to be the highest one that you can get in terms of rewards. Doors starting open high. Now, this is where it gets a little bit controversial. Some people don't do this, some people do. So number of hiding places very high. Now, the way I play it and the way I cheese the game, you sort of need the hiding places. It just makes it a little bit easier. Otherwise, you're going to be having no sprinting and trying to out-hunt a ghost effectively. There is the picnic method. If you want to see what the picnic table method is, let me know in the comments, and I'll go through that method as well. But for today's purposes, I'm doing the tent method. So the sanity monitor off, activity monitor off, fuse box at the start of the contract broken, and the fuse box visible on map off. So this is all of the settings that I use to gain a lot of XP quickly. So let's apply that. Next is your loadout. So I have a specific loadout set. I've not named it. I probably should name it, to be fair. So because there's no evidence, I don't add any more additional equipment for evidence, except for an EMF, and I'll go through why in a second. So flashlights, obviously they're off, so I don't increase any more. Ghost writing, I don't have more than one. Spirit box again, thermometer, UV. Video cameras I do, just in case. I do go through quite a few video cameras because you have to check for mimic. So there's no evidence, but a mimic will still give ghost orbs if it is on the contract, and that is the ghost you're dealing with. Crucifix, obviously, just go for as many as you can. Firelights, again, you want to make sure you've got enough. Headgear, don't really need it, don't add them in personally. So igniter and incense, you're going to burn through a lot of incense, and it's just always nice to have multiple firelights. So motion sensors, yep, not necessarily to detect where the ghost is, but potentially just to complete an objective and just get that little bit more money. Parabolic is a good for completing objectives and also potentially figuring out if it's a banshee or not through with the scream. Photo camera, it all depends. So again, you can capture the ghost photo, or you can try and go for a perfect game. I don't really do that though, to be fair. Salt, you can still test for a wraith with a salt, so that's a very good one to go for. You don't necessarily need all three. Same with the photo camera and maybe the parabolic. I just put them all in there just for convenience. So sanity medication, sound sensors and tripods, I don't bother adding in. So that is my loadout. So if I just enable that now, that's what it looks like on the screen. That's everything that I bring in with me. Obviously the tiers would be higher normally, but I am still quite a low level. I've just recently prestiged, which is annoying. So next and the final thing is just picking the contract. So Camp Woodwind is my go-to for gaining XP fast. Some people like to do Tanglewood, just loop the kitchen table, which is good, but where we don't have sprinting, I'm not very good at looping the ghost without sprinting, even with sprinting, to be fair. So let's jump in now. Because you are limited with how much you can get evidence and stuff, it's not always, you're not always going to get the ghost unless you know everything about them, which I unfortunately do not. So I'll tell you what I do. I grab a video camera, a smudge stick and a crucifix. Oh, I need the better crucifix. I need to see if the shop has them, that I can upgrade them yet. Although I don't think you can at level 30. So what I do, head towards the gate, and just take a quick look around, just check for orbs. I cannot see any orbs. Just drop that on the floor, smudge, and a crucifix. So I drop the crucifix because as you first walk in, the ghost can immediately hunt. So if the ghost is on top of you, it can potentially prevent the hunt, which is quite nice. And then next what I do is check the objectives. So firelight, crucifix, and incense. So I'm always going to have an incense on me anyways. Make sure to pick up that. Firelight. And crucifix. So again, what I'll normally do is just walk with the crucifix. I head towards the tents. and literally just walk in the back and just stand here. Don't crouch, just stand, and pretty much what I do. Now, oh, okay, very active. I'll show you my statistics. So it's not a proven 100% right, get £1,000 every contract every time sort of game. But if you get it right, you can potentially get a lot. Okay, so it's burnt the crucifix, which is nice. So that's one objective completed. Oh, and it's blew out the candle. Nice, okay. Okay, it's probably not an 𝕍𝕼𝕋 because it did try to hunt before it blew out the candle. But yeah, so I've played this a few times. Sometimes get the ghost right, sometimes I don't. That's purely based on my knowledge and not having the right equipment to figure it out. So yeah, I'm about just over 50% identified correctly. So obviously, this isn't really playing the game, but this is just how I find getting levels quickly. So I find the first like 25 to 30 levels unbearable in Phasmophobia. I hate tier 1 equipment, as I'm sure most of you do. I normally just jump straight into online games and just rinse and repeat things like this, just until I can get better equipment. And this way you can sort of get the badges a lot quicker. So I've got like 120 hours on this game on the PlayStation, and I've still only on Prestige 4. And there's 20 prestiges at this current time, which I'm nowhere near. And I just feel like sometimes it's just, if you want to do it, do it. If you don't, don't. Yeah, this is pretty much what I do. I normally have something on in the background, so I can just be watching that, and then when the ghost starts hunting, I look out for the footsteps, the blinks. Is there breath? Does it shapeshift? How fast it is? What's the smudge timer on it like? So you can also set a smudge timer. Let me do it just in case it isn't on there. Oh, just touch the tent. Could potentially be a Yuri. So annoying because you can't really see it. I won't lie to you, I have no idea what that is, and that's fine. So you're not always going to get it. So what I normally do is I do one hunt, guess and go sort of thing. But what you can do is you can go in, you can place your salt, your parabolic, test with Banshee. So the EMF, I did say I was going to explain that, right? So this is more for the picnic table rather than the tent method. But if you was to turn on and throw an EMF reader there, if you are running and looping the ghost around these picnic tables here, you can actually get an EMF reading through this computer if it's a 𝕍𝕍𝕋. So then if you're playing with someone and they're in the van and they can hear the EMF while you're chasing, then you know it's a 𝕍𝕍𝕋, because it's the only ghost that can detect EMF through electronical equipment. I'm actually going to go for a Yuri on that, because it blew out the candle during the hunt, so I don't think it's an 𝕍𝕋𝕋. Yeah, actually it was a Phantom. Okay. But yeah, so even getting the ghost wrong and completing all objectives, I got $500 for it, which isn't a lot in the grand scheme of things, but it's better than nothing. So again, just jump in and just keep doing it like this, just so I can show you how good this can actually be once you sort of get down to it. So obviously the more you know about the ghosts, the better your chances of getting more money in. It's a blood moon map. Okay, so even though you've set the weather to fog, you can potentially still get a blood moon map. I think it's like a 2% chance or something. So I'm gonna run through this with you. It's a little bit more scary, to be fair, I won't lie. Because the blood moon map, they are faster, they are more aggressive as well. So if a ghost might be fast, it doesn't mean it's necessarily a fast ghost, it's just that it's been amped up. So repel the ghost, escape, and parabolic. So if you've got this where 2 of your objectives can be done with 1, so like an incense during a hunt, and then the other one's 1, so you've got a free slot in your inventory, I will then normally take salt, and then you can at least test for wraith on the first hunt. But again, because I'm still a low level, I annoyingly don't have all of the equipment, or the good equipment anyways. So we know this is not an owning, because of that airball event. Ownies cannot do that. Annoyingly, so in a contract like this, you will not be able to light candles, so you won't be able to blow out firelights. In this method anyways, you could still pull them under the picnic benches, I believe. I think this might be the twins again, you know, because we just had an airball event here, and then immediately a throw over in that tent. Oh my god, that's so fun. Oh no, it's a D.O. I think. Yeah, it's gotta be a D.O. I'm just gonna double check for a mimic again. Because I've been caught out so many times with the mimic because I just don't double check. Because the ghost could change rooms so often as well, you want to make sure that you are double checking. Oh, I hate these doors as well. I can never seem to open them. Like I thought the ghost was just hunting again, and then that would have made me thought of a demon because it was so quick after the smudge. But okay, so let's put D.O. I'm fairly sure that was a D.O. That was very fast and very slow. I always thought if you smudged them, they were still slow. But I guess it's only with line of sight. So yeah, no, I think it's got to be a D.O. Yes, perfect. Right, so here we go. So now you actually see how much you can actually get. We didn't even do all the objectives, and you get a decent amount from this. Nice, we've got some upgrades, cool. Yep, so as you can see, let me just break it down for you. So because it's a small map, finding the correct ghost type is $100, and then we had the objectives for 30 and 25, so, and an investigation bonus of 155. Now then you times that by 12.47, and then obviously take off 100 because of the daily. But the blood moon, we got an additional $400 for it, so that was 4,352 that we got, and that map was 2 minutes and 54 seconds. So let me just do a bit of mental math. If you was to play this game for an hour, bearing in mind there's obviously the debrief in the actual lobby, but if you did it based straight away, so 20 times 4,300, you're earning about 86,000. That's money and XP, because obviously every dollar you get is XP. So as you can see, I went from level 31 to 33. So you can really boost your levels so quickly, especially in the earlier games as well, when it only takes a couple of hundred XP to get from level 1 to level 2 and so on, so on. This is a really easy method. It's not very it's not very costly because it's 1,000, as you can see here. And I haven't actually died. You might get the ghost wrong, but you still keep all your equipment. Obviously, you just burn for all the incenses, the salt, and the crucifixes that you use during a contract. But they're like, what, $30 for the crucifix, 15 for the incense, 10 for the igniter. You're really not burning through a whole lot of money in comparison to what you're getting out of it. So that's what I recommend if you want to be able to prestige quickly, if you want to boost through those levels and unlock all these really cool different prestige badges. Then really consider giving this a go. There's plenty of different methods out there to gain XP really quick, but I have found that this one works the best for me. Like I said, there's a few, especially just on Camp Woodwind. So you've got the tent method, which is what I've just shown you, and then you've also got the picnic bench one, which is where you literally just loop the ghost around the picnic bench. That way you can get rid of hiding spots, and that will give you a little bit more in terms of your rewards multiplier. So if you are interested in seeing a video on how to do the picnic table method for Camp Woodwind, then just let me know down in the comments. Also, if you want to see any different types of XP grinds for Phasmophobia, I've got a few more. Like I said, I just feel like this is the best one suited for me. So that's the end of the video. If you liked it, please make sure to hit that like button and also leave a comment. It helps the channel out massively, and I really do appreciate everything and all the support that you leave on my channel. If you aren't subscribed and you want to be, make sure to hit that subscribe button at the end of this video, and also click on the notification bell, and that way you can be alerted when I do release XP guides on how to be a pro at Phasmophobia. I have a lot more coming this year, and I hope to be a little bit more consistent with it, so you can get the content that you have subscribed to the channel for. I hope to see you all in the next one. I'll see you later.